This is the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. Hundreds of Army officer cadets come here every year to endure some of the toughest, most gruelling training in the world.
You spent nearly a whole year of your life going through some incredibly intense training. People from all over the world come to commission at our academy.
Next one, please.
But after over 200 years, the home of the British Army officer is changing, as the Academy embarks on one of the Army's biggest ever gender integration programmes.
I've spent 5+ years of my life working up to this point.
I just love it. I'm kind of a bit patriotic.
This is an exclusive look behind the scenes at this historic military training establishment at a critical time for national security.
It is, of course, the spectre of heavy fighting in Europe that focuses me and my instructors on what we need to prepare them for.
It's 6 a.m. at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, and it's a big day for 5 Platoon.
I know you've worked hard so far. Okay, make sure nitty-gritty things like already picked up, make sure those are all corrected. Be present on time. Okay, 7:30 is the start time.
Every morning, cadets must clean their accommodation block. But today, there's even more pressure as they prepare for a full inspection in just over an hour.
I love room inspections because there is a way to do everything. It's almost like a game that you tick off everything, and then it's really satisfying if they come into your room and they're like, yeah, that was really good.
The company commander and company sergeant major will be leading the inspection. Brass must be polished and floors mopped. Cadets will be penalised for any spots of dirt or dust. And each room must be laid out in a precise order.
Okay, so there's about 4 main areas that they're looking to inspect that have to be laid out a certain way. The first is our shelves. So as you can see, everything laid out with equal spacings in between.
But not everyone is quite so well prepared.
And is this how your room at home might be?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always sparkling and tidy.
Then in our chest of drawers, all your socks with smiley faces in a certain order, all the right way up. Then our bed as well, it has to be pulled really tight. Do the hospital corners on your duvet. And then your hat, your belt and your gloves laid out very specifically, making sure the belt is highly polished. We've probably been working on it for like a day and a half at least. I make my bed like this every day. I live like this so that it's done.
There's just time for final checks as the company commander approaches. Each cadet is examined on their bearing, uniform and attention to detail.
Morning, Mom. 303-78665, Officer Cadet Smith, room ready for inspection roll.
Okay, thank you. And find a suit again. That's all right. And you can also look at me when you're talking to me. Okay, thank you. Oh, this one smells nice.
A speck of dust or misplaced toothbrush will merit immediate punishment.
Right, dusty bottom of the wardrobe, button up.
10 push-ups in the system.
It's a bad start for 5 Platoon. Can Officer Cadet Holly Plummer turn things round?
She managed to get those clean. I like it.
Shiny like a brand new.
I know. Shiny Mestons, well done.
That means so much to you, especially starting out, that this person that's really experienced and a professional, they see something that what you've done well. So that's a really good point of kind of self-confidence and things.
We're ready for inspection, ma'am, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As much as the room inspections can be annoying, I think they are really beneficial because if you can't look after yourself in a clean room and keep yourself clean and your room clean, how are you going to do that in the field?
Oh, clean, look at that. Clean vacuum as well.
Good morning, Mum.
And now it's the moment of truth for Officer Cadet Jack Wren.
Room is ready for your inspection, Mum, please.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was my room in its natural state of chaos, but organised chaos nonetheless, and then just trying to desperately get it up to the standards.
Which you succeeded in doing, so well done.
Yes, just about pulling a very large rabbit out of a very small hat.
During room inspections, a cadet's uniform must also be immaculate.
Thank you.
Miss Black, when did you obtain that shirt?
Yesterday.
Clearly haven't ironed it for quite a while, because I can see about 1,000 creases down your arm, so down 10 press-ups. Pretty foolish to have turned up on the inspection and not having ironed any of your kit.
He's not going to let anything slide, and he shouldn't. That's his role. You know, we did have some issues that were raised, and immediately, you know, they're stamped out. Things are changed to be like, okay, this isn't acceptable. This isn't good enough.
The fact that people haven't ironed the kit is pretty unforgivable, and some of you have basically dragged your shirts out of the wash and placed them on for this inspection. That can't happen for future inspections. Make sure that gets rectified before your next lesson. Does everyone understand?
Yes,
yes
sir.
Yeah, if you go. Thanks, sir.
So you had to do some press-ups.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, my shirt wasn't ironed to the standards, so it's understandable. But yeah, my room was okay, so I'm pleased with that.
Drill coming up, is that the next focus for the
Yes,
drill?
that's the next thing, so that's Thursday, and obviously if we don't pass, we have to stay till Friday, whereas I think if we pass, we get to leave on Thursday evening, so everyone's like quite high stakes for getting an extra night at home.
Either left, pick, march! Left, right, left!
Since their very first morning, the officer cadets have been learning how to march.
10, 1, 2, 3, 1.
5 weeks in, and they must pass a complex drill test. If they succeed, they can go home early for their first weekend off.
Left, right, left!
But if they fail, they'll spend an extra night drilling on the square.
It looms large in every cadet's mind because it is effectively the barrier between a weekend off and the prospect of having to stay on the parade square and run through extra drill. It teaches them how to effectively move, communicate, and act as a formed body of men and women.
Your arms on the side when you're doing that.
An essential part of the test is looking their best in their blues. But it's raining heavily, and after hours of preparing their dress uniform, the cadets have been told they must change.
Yeah, I think not doing the drill test in this will be interesting.
Our other uniform isn't ironed, so
it's not ironed.
We're going to look a mess.
And we're going to be wearing Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the noise of the Gore-Tex jacket.
We'd rather just get wet and then we'll dry the kit out.
Yeah.
Not our call.
5 platoons drill will be assessed by some of the most senior staff at the academy. They're also in competition with other platoons.
But they've got to make sure that they are performing the drills correctly, they're locking out the elbow, they're giving a nice crisp eyes left and right when they're required to, and they're not simply thinking I can just melt away and hide in the ranks because no one can see me, because they are very visible.
There's a lot to learn, and different commands come on different feet, and there's so much to take on, and you're not only just thinking about that, you're thinking about where you've got to be in a line, what foot does what.
The wet conditions are leading to mistakes.
The actual drill, we got wrong. The weather just turned. And so we were doing the drill test in Gore-Tex. And you cannot hear anything when you're marching, and you've got like just a crisp packet in your ear. And then times that by 30, and you're trying to listen to your platoon sergeant, and none of us could hear him.
So you had a bit of a crash situation, and that happened twice.
And I still slid it to the right when I should have slid it to the front. I made direct eye contact with Co-Sergeant Grant, and I was like, oh, I'm such an idiot. And he just looked at me and shook his head, and I was like, oh no.
5 platoon have made several errors and have one last chance to correct their drill.
Platoon sergeant made us do it until we got it right. And we ended up just kind of leaving it behind us and carrying on.
The test is over, but have they passed?
The best platoon today, passing up the square, week 5, is 5 platoon incoming company.
It was quite a proud moment, to be honest, when we announced that we won the drill.
I think just knowing that it's 4 colours aren't run, we're all working together. And if we let each other down, we let him down. We just don't want to disappoint him. And I think how happy he was when we won the drill competition.
So, show of hands, how many people have been to a military dinner night? That's quite a lot of you. How many of you been to a black tie event?
The Army's very particular in how they do things, so it's good to get in your head about those kind of etiquette and things. So the last thing you want to do is go to a regiment and offend anyone.
A formal dinner is an important part of an officer's life. The mess night is an honoured tradition in the British Army.
Regiments do take dinner in the mess very seriously, and people will be very offended if you don't follow the rules.
Some people will come from backgrounds where they perhaps went to a boarding school and they're used to sitting down and having, 3-course dinners every night, and you'll have people who took packed lunches to school and have never been to a black tie dinner.
The cadets are introduced to dinner night etiquette.
I hope you'll feel less awkward at your own dinner nights.
I decided to join you in a glass of wine, sir. Are you interested in Love Island at all?
And so just setting them up to not feel embarrassed or unsure, so that they know what to expect when they attend their first regimental dinner night.
So a good thing to do at dinner night is to count how many times they've refilled that, because some people are very, very diligent. You take a few sips and they're around the back of you pouring it again. So it's just, as a safety note, how many times has that waiter or waitress come and filled up your glass? So have some idea of how much you've had to drink.
Would you like to hear a joke, sir? Thank you for asking. I would love to hear a joke. I don't have one just now.
Sirs, mums, ladies, gentlemen, we in Old College hope you enjoy your dinner this evening. Could you please make your way to the dining room?
It's the first formal dinner night in Old College for the officer cadets. With the drill completed, it's a chance to enjoy themselves.
I've done a good few before, so I was happy with the general process. It was exciting to talk to some different people because we had different staff sat around us. That was good to kind of get to know different officers and different cadets. It was all kind of mingled around. So I think even that just kind of change of pace from the normal course was exciting.
We had beef Wellington, which I can essentially summarise as someone has taken a perfectly good beef burger, taken it out of the burger, wrapped it in pastry, and then made us eat it with 10 different types of forks. It was weird, and I was still starving afterwards and went and got a KFC. It's a good experience, but thank God I won't have to do it every night.
Sandhurst brought in strict rules on alcohol after a drinking culture at the academy was found to have played a part in the suicide of Officer Cadet Olivia Perks in 2019. Cadets are now banned from drinking in the first 5 weeks of the course. After that, they're limited to a maximum of 4 units of alcohol 3 times a week.
People are watching your behaviour. These dinner nights are not free-for-alls for people to have a mad one. It's not a house party, it's a formal regimental dinner or mess dinner night. So, practice your behaviours here, and it's a good benchmark for when you go to your unit.
The stricter drinking policy also forms part of the Academy's overhaul to create a safer environment for female cadets and address a history of unacceptable behaviour connected to alcohol.
Slightly more sinister stories perhaps of dinner nights where there's a feeling that after alcohol you need to go and lock the door behind you, the knocking on the door at night. I realised it was pretty disgusting, some of it, and that the Army was failing those servicewomen. If you don't drink or you're a servicewoman, it's fair to say that lots of really drunk people around you can feel the very opposite of being safe. So I think, people could be really reassured it's a very different Sandhurst.
Exercise Long Reach in the Black Mountains in Wales will test the limits of the officer cadets' navigation and leadership skills.
Long Reach was brilliant. It was hard for everyone, so it was good to just get stuck in and get on with that.
You learn about yourself on Long Reach, you learn about the team on Long Reach.
It is a rite of passage, I'd say, in the sense that every officer for generations has done it.
Over 36 hours, small sections must compete day and night over 70 kilometres of gruelling terrain.
After we'd had a pretty rough night up on the hill, we then had to go back up one of the hills, back over the ridge, and everyone's kind of just walking along, head down, looking at the grounds.
For that brief sort of half hour, we were all silent and just in our own little worlds of hurt as we sort of trudged along.
Amy McCulloch hopes to return to Sandhurst as an instructor one day. Boosting morale is a useful skill.
I'm a big kid myself. I just love playing games, interacting. I don't want to walk along in silence. So we start playing games.
Alphabet game, countries. Everybody says the letter A, and then we move on. Iraq, Iran. Oh.
Can't say two.
P.
Papua New Guinea.
Oh.
Each cadet must carry 35 kilos, and teams march through a series of checkpoints where they're given challenging command tasks to complete. After a night on the mountains, Holly, who hopes to join the Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers, must now lead the team through a complex scenario.
I'll brief you on the task, and then it's up to you to manage your team. So I've got that for you.
They have just 20 minutes to foil a terrorist attack by working out the best time to arrest its leader.
We've been selected to conduct an arrest operation in the country of Gorgas. Our mission is to arrest the Zugdidi regional leader of the Zabzamek separatists, aka Zabs. Intelligence has told us that he will be in his HQ every day in daylight hours, but not after dark. I really enjoyed that actually. I think it's a good experience working with lads as well because I need to learn how to manage quite big personalities. I think that was a really useful kind of learning experience of all of us. That makes a lot of sense, but I think that's where we'll coordinate the list that Williams makes with the time constraints that adds in.
By that point we had summited a mountain and then come down, and I think that was a useful sort of team bonding experience.
Yeah. You have an answer?
Yes, sir.
So what's the earliest day and time that you can make the arrest?
0900 on Sunday. So.
You are correct.
Hey, well done.
Nice work.
That went quite well, to be fair, considering we've not had any sleep. So that's quite good.
Exercise Long Reach is designed to test the bonds of each team, to challenge these leaders amongst leaders.
No, what are you doing? No, this end.
I think there was definitely some tension in the section throughout Long Reach.
We had a couple of guys who were carrying injuries and we had to decide, do we skip one of the checkpoints or not?
All of our feet were sore, everyone was in pain, everyone was tired, and the team was actively making the decision not to go to this checkpoint.
If we went up that last mountain, would we be able to get these guys back down?
So we took a vote of who wanted to do it, who didn't. The people that didn't want to do it one by one, so it was like, okay, we're not doing it. I just needed to make that point of this is what quitting looks like right now. And I was like, if you're out with your platoon, you can't just turn around and go, no, I'm not going to do this actually, and not even try. Yeah, but it was nice to then get the whole team across the finish line.
Let me know when you're all in, I'll stop the clock. 09:59.
After 3 punishing days on the Welsh mountains, the entire section has successfully completed the exercise. Exhausted and worn out, but one step closer on their journey.
Instantly, as soon as you finish that exercise, you are on the way to joining that club of being a commissioned officer. Were they not up to the standard of passing Long Reach, we would then seriously examine whether or not they had the ability to pass the latter stages of the course.
Coming up, learning how to kill.
So no more running willy-nilly at the enemy, and no more running without firing at the enemy. But we don't run and fire at the same time. Push further, push further.
And after 11 weeks of training, the cadets are reunited with their loved ones.
Hello, Mum.
Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.